Welcome back to A Corporate Time. One of our favorite things to do is to smush our voicemails and emails into one segment. Let's start with one of Sam's. That looks huge. Is that a book?
It is.
Oh my God.
It's a pretty funny one, so
all right.
I kind of want to get through this. It also has pictures.
Oh my God, it's a fat email.
So this is we talked about weddings, right? And the first look, this is on a BDM show. We talked about the first look pictures and all that, thus spiraling out of control in the BDM group where everyone's posting their photos, which I loved. Good, bad, and the ugly.
It
right?
was great. And then Charlie Bird got mad.
And then people told their stories of their day.
Yeah.
So this says, nice day for a white trash wedding.
Yes.
I know the topic of weddings this week, and a winner of the Daytona 500 tickets for most redneck wedding, which was my sister's, I feel I should tell you about my Florida white trash wedding. My wife and I have been together for a long time. We already had 2 kids before we officially got married.
That's white trash.
We picked a date, 9, 10, 11, because it was easy to remember.
9, 10, 11, baby.
To start, I let my wife pick everything, meaning she had the winner's choice of location, food, etc. My wife and I love karaoke, and I thought it would be fun to have a karaoke DJ as our wedding DJ. That was my only request.
Oh, man, to see Tom doing karaoke. You hate it, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, naturally, it's your enemy.
Yeah.
If karaoke were a robot, you would fight it to the death. It's your least favorite. Is that your least favorite thing of all time, karaoke?
No, there's less. There's
more.
Things,
There's more.
No,
or things you hate more.
Yeah. Or
things you
I
care
like
about
less.
Okay, gotcha.
But
Karaoke's up there.
I don't like myself doing karaoke. I don't mind watching people do it, but I live in fear that someone's going to call my name and I have to do it.
You know, we've talked about this before, and I'm going to say this. If you sign your friends up for karaoke in an attempt to embarrass them, you're a bad person. Don't do that. I don't support that.
Well, what are they trying to... Okay, keep going.
No, they're trying to hurt you. They're trying to break you is what they're trying to do.
It's a bullying move.
It is a bullying
Yeah.
move. They're trying to break you. They're trying to get you up there.
They're trying
and
to embarrass you.
So uncomfortable that you crap your pants and cry. They're trying to break you as a human.
I promise I'm just going to go a small tangent.
No, please. That's what the show is.
I was driving to school this morning in silence with my sons. And
That's
then
your favorite thing.
right before, I was like, I got to say something. I got to start a conversation. So I'm like, what specials do you have today?
Well, I do. I use the same thing with Maisie. I'm like, what do you got today?
And I don't even care, but I'm just like, I got to
I
get
know.
the conversation going. So it's not just a weirdo. Like every day I drove with my old man and we sat in silence.
Max doesn't fight this because he's got chirping tendencies, maybe? Max doesn't want to say anything to break it up a little bit. I know Tommy is going to toe the line.
He's probably too tired because he stays up till midnight.
Yeah, these kids party,
Max is like me, though, too. He's like, he'll talk more and make friends, but
he doesn't have to.
He chooses to stay silent. Anyway, Tommy says, I got PE today. And then I'm like, okay, that's cool. And he's like, I'm like, what do you do? He's like, basically, I spend a half an hour terrified that they're gonna call me to say what the next exercise is, because I guess the coach will call a kid out and
get over here,
or just say like, hey, what's the next exercise?
We're doing climb the rope.
And
say it to everybody and embarrass yourself and crap your pants and be broken as a human.
And then I just thought to myself, I started to say like, don't be scared. You shouldn't live your life in fear that someone's gonna call. And then
Are you talking to me or Tommy?
I'm talking to Tommy.
Okay.
But then I realized I still do this. So I just said. There's gonna be a hard life, son. You're just gonna live like this forever, because I do now. Not anymore because I got older. But
you get over it. Time helps a little bit. Reps. You're a big reps guy.
Yeah,
the more you say the next exercise in PE, the more it hurts you, or less it hurts you to say it. To me, it does.
I
It's
work
like
as
flying.
an entertainer for a living, and I still don't want anybody calling my name or be like, "Hey, you, come up here," or like, "What do you?"
But you're weird.
What do you have to say?
No, I'm not even going to go into this with you because you're also weird in that you ride a one wheel and you want people to notice you.
I don't want that.
Well, then don't ride the one wheel anymore. You have to just walk like a normal human being.
Well, I have fun.
You ain't fun.
Yeah.
You're a conundrum, man. I can't even figure you out. Sometimes you want fun. Sometimes you don't want fun.
I think I hate walking. Anyway, go
Okay.
ahead.
My wife worked as a restaurant manager. She knew a karaoke guy from managing an Applebee's back in her younger days.
Yes,
so
Club
she
Bees.
reached out to him to talk to him about being a DJ at our wedding. While we were talking to him, he told us he was actually an ordained minister and could also perform the marriage ceremonies as well.
That's a wham bam.
So we agreed and killed 2 birds with 1 stone. This karaoke DJ named Mr. Sunshine would also perform our ceremony as well.
Mr. Sunshine also sounds like the name of a clown that would eat children or something, right? That's a horrifying name, Mr. Sunshine.
We originally put a deposit down on a nice place, $500 deposit. This place wanted us to buy the food and drinks from them.
$500 is not that nice.
Well, that's just the deposit, though.
No, I'm saying. I'm just saying, $500, where you at? A Holiday Inn? Where you at?
About a month went by, and we realized that we could only invite a few friends at that cost, and we decided to pull out from that venue. We lost our $500 deposit.
My God.
We then decided to do everything from our home. My wife knew a restaurant.
Well, wait a minute. Why would you just threw $500 down the toilet and then just decided to have the wedding at your house?
Bad of life.
Okay.
Yeah.
They didn't do the invitations before they booked the venue.
Oh, man.
My wife knew a restaurant manager from Sticky Fingers Barbecue.
Yeah.
And they donated all the food.
Sticky Fingers still sells their, they have delicious bottles of barbecue sauce you can buy right now on Wendy's.
They donated it?
Correct.
That's pretty, you got to have some good friends at old Sticky Fingers for them
she
to
gave them the old Sticky
Well,
Fingers
maybe they
special.
stole it. Sticky Fingers, right?
Well, I'm just saying to feed a whole wedding, that's got to be
How many?
a couple $1,000s worth of food, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of pulled pork.
We put a piece of plywood over our pool table,
Yes.
a tablecloth, and put all of the food there. We rented chairs from a funeral home, approximately $200.
I passed a place in Sanford that does that. Write it down.
My wife built an altar and bought some white rollout carpet to walk down the aisle on.
She had to build her own altar? What is she, Jesus Christ? This is sad.
Our theme was beach casual.
Yes, it
I
was.
wore a blue button-down shirt, khaki shorts, and flip-flops.
Short. No, short. You can get married
It's
in
beach
shorts.
casual.
Shorts, dude.
The night before, we were supposed to have a rehearsal dinner. Mr. Sunshine had a prior commitment and couldn't attend. I walked around the backyard picking up dog poop. We also had a big above-ground pool to the side of the event, which really added class. On the wedding day, Mr. Sunshine showed up with his family. His family was scared to death of dogs and would not come into our home.
Yeah, well,
When
the
the
Sunshines aren't, they're not animal people.
When the service began, my wife walked down the aisle to me. Since we really didn't have a rehearsal, I didn't know what to do. So I stood there military style until Mr. Sunshine was talking for about 5 minutes, and then my wife reached down and grabbed my hands. Mr. Sunshine skipped over the ring part, and then towards the end went back to it when my wife whispered, "Rings?" He then ended the ceremony with the powers invested in me.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I now pronounce you husband and wife. Afterwards, one of my best friends and groomsmen came up to me and said, "Dude, you sure you're really married? I don't think you did anything right." The after party was lit. Mr. Sunshine knew how to get the crowd moving and shaking. And there's pictures of Mr. Sunshine.
I have a question, because he said he was picking up all the dog poop, which is, I feel like you need to do that. But were the dog, he said that Mr. Sunshine's family was like deathly afraid of dogs.
For some reason, Mr. Sunshine brought his entire family to this man's wedding.
Also a problem, but here's another problem. Put your dogs up during the wedding. For Christ's sake, put them in the bedroom, right? You can just have them running around during the ceremony. That is trash.
People love their dogs.
I love my dog, but he can go in his kennel while I get hitched to my best girl,
Kennel?
right?
There's no kennel here.
Yeah, there's no kennel here.
I mean, Dan's, we got a little kennel. I put him in his little kennel, and then we go do whatever we need to do, and then I let him out.
What's weird in if
The
you're
whole
gonna,
thing's weird.
Well, if you're gonna do something different and as cheap as possible, then do it all different. Don't follow the same guidelines of a traditional wedding and then try to do it extra cheap.
I see what you're saying.
Because then people are going to notice it more, right? Start from the beginning and don't do anything traditional, and then you could pull it off. And I feel like people are like, "Oh, this is different." Like, your guests obviously don't care, but when you
when people say this is interesting, they hate it.
Well, when you're trying to follow the standard and then do it,
you can't. The standard needs a lot of money to.
Yes,
yeah, you're right.
So do totally something unique in yourself.
Make it original, yeah.
And then that way people aren't going to compare it to anything else, because then
they can't make it truly unique. Make it so.
You're having this guy do the traditional vows and he's messing them up. Like, have him do something totally different, because people at that point, they realize they're going to your backyard. This is a non-traditional wedding, and so then do it your own way, like unique.
I like that. Be an individual.
I guess that does
be
add
unique
extra
like
work.
a snowflake.
It's like, because then people won't notice as much, and then it won't be compared to like, oh, there's no seats here, there's no reception, there's no cocktail hour.
We didn't do seats. We only did seats for because I wanted it real fast. Like, I don't know if you remember, but my ceremony pretty lickety split, because we had the only reason we had seats is for old people, right? And then afterwards, it was like everybody dance, everybody drink, stand around. There were seats inside to eat. You could go inside the
Yeah, I was about to. I was like,
house.
I sat and ate dinner. At
Well,
your
no,
wedding.
I'm talking about during the ceremony. There were no seats.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
just
yeah.
like
They
stand
walk
out
out.
there. We're gonna wham
you had a
bam
fast
this.
one, yeah.
We'll go back inside and eat, and then the grandmas can sit down.
And that's fine. But you had a fancier
I did.
wedding. Like it was
I
a
did.
nice venue,
It
and then it had all the standard
Yeah.
wedding, timeline.
Yeah, I had a serving line. I had some ziti.
I think that's the problem. Is like
Cupcakes.
to put together that kind of ceremony and party
It's
after
expensive,
party,
man.
like you have to have all these different things, and so just do. Or I've seen lots of people go and get married at
like
the
that.
courthouse.
Yeah, I like that.
And then just have a standard party.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
elope.
So essentially a reception, and then at the reception, then you can just have food, and you do it buffet style, and then
Yeah.
have some tables for sitting, and then have a DJ.
Andrea's
Easy.
brother did it cool because of kind of what you're saying. He and his fiance, they bought like a piece of property in Colorado. So what they did is they invited just the parents out. They got a wham bam, like married quickly, right on the piece of property where they hope to build and do their they're like this is like their dream.
Yeah.
So it was like everybody meet at the dream and we'll get married, and then we'll just come back and we'll have a party. So they did exactly what you're talking about. So it was meaningful. It was on this place where they have like hope to make a family, right? But then everybody after that was like, hey, let's just go to Applebee's and have some dinner or something.
And by the way, no one actually cares about seeing you actually do the vows and that kind of, I don't think. And besides, maybe your parents or
My
like
wife
close
cared.
family,
Yeah.
but friends.
I didn't care. I was already married in my brain, right?
Also, well, what I'm saying is like the audience is there to like
Audience.
Everybody just goes there to
Get free drinks.
Yeah,
and a food.
the drinks
The
and
party.
food and party.
Yeah, you go for the party. Yeah, I do like the wedding. I do get sentimental when I see them like, uniting. I like that part. But
you do?
I do.
I
yeah.
didn't think anybody liked that.
I like
I
that
hear
part.
you.
Well, I'm not like just sitting there watching it with bated breath, but it does because I am an emotional person. I've talked to Sam about this before. Like even at her wedding, when I watch them, they come down
I
the
think
aisle.
a few people cried at my wedding.
Yeah, I cry at weddings just because I like the exchange of energy, man. I like the love on love. It's good. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I guess normal people actually like the love part of the weddings or whatever.
It just makes me. I kind of look at it, and then I saw Sam, and they hold his husband, and I see Travis get a little weepy. Then I see them kiss, and I'm like, oh my god, this is what life's all about.
Yeah.
You look at that. I do look at stuff like that, and I'm like, damn, I got to get my priorities straight, man. Like I got a good life. I look at like other people like kissing or like holding their hand to their daughter or their son, and I'm like, man, I'm a lucky man. Look at that.
You look at other people and say you're a lucky man.
Yeah. Well, I look at them, their love like shoots into me, and I'm like, damn, that's like, man, I've got love too. I am very grateful. I don't know. I get a bolt of gratitude or something.
I look at it. I'm like, this will wear off eventually.
You've been saying that since I started sitting in with you guys. Still
What?
going strong.
Right.
Me and Travis.
Oh, yeah. Another thing, I'm not saying you wear off. I'm just saying
you said
Well, she
people's
took it that way.
people's
No,
love.
you said it.
People's love wears. I mean, it's not. It doesn't wear
You're
totally
you're still
off.
in the honeymoon period. And I'm
We
like,
got
I've
some
been with him
people-
for 8 years.
Yeah, we got some people like you in the chat room. EJ says he's like you. I think there's a lot of people that don't care about weddings. I just think that
Yeah,
I
that's
am I'm kind of a sappy guy, I mean,
Yeah.
You're not going to cry at a Publix commercial, but I swear that one where the guy comes back from, I think he's military, and his mom doesn't know.
Oh, did you see the one where the grandpa teaches his grandson to put makeup on? Oh, my God.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Cried.
Yeah, I like those kind of things. But, I mean, I wonder sometimes what it would
The
feel-
grandpa teaches his grandson how to
Well,
put makeup
yeah.
on.
Could
You-
be non-binary.
Yeah, Tom doesn't support that.
Well, no, it's not that. I was just like, there's no
How does
way
he
that
know?
grandpa knows.
He studied it. No, that's the whole commercial. Is him
Oh.
like secretly learning it on like YouTube.
Grandpas don't secretly learn anything other
Sorry,
than...
granddaughter.
Yeah, I think grandpa's like, no, that grandpa's, he's just reading racist memes all day. That's all he ain't looking at, he ain't watching makeup tutorials.
yeah.
I know grandpas. If there's one thing I know, it's grandpas because I'm almost a grandpa. I feel it. I feel like I'm a grandpa.
Maybe future grandpas, but not old school grandpas.
Yeah,
So
there-
that's not
yeah.
the grandpas I
You
know.
want to wear what? Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear that. Email or voicemail? Where are
Up
we?
to you. We only got time for one more.
Let's do me. Let's do me.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Hey, show. Chuck in Michigan. Yeah, listening to you guys talk about TikTok. Dan, if you
he
are
bathing?
on TikTok and you just hold your finger on the page that you're looking at, another little screen will pop in. There's a place where there's a little busted heart. It says not interested. Keep doing that over and over and over. Eventually, it'll start showing just what you want to look at, along with the searches. Super easy. Take it easy, guys.
I like that we have like a bubble bath old man telling me how to use TikTok. Thank you. You know what? I did not. I'm gonna be dumb old man for a second. I didn't know that whatever I was watching, I could put my thumb on it and then say, no, I don't like that. I didn't know I could do that. I thought you just
I didn't know
swiped
that
away.
either. That's it. I'm gonna start doing that.
Me
because,
too. This is good information for us.
It'll start giving me stuff that I am not interested in, and then I just swipe super quick. But
My algorithm has changed. Would you like for me to report? Because I'm trying to
Sure.
do what you guys say. Okay, my algorithm now, there are less boobs, but I get a lot of justice, like trying to track down bad people. And I think that's from our buddy Tizzy. We've known that guy for like 15 years.
Oh yeah.
He's a big deal in TikTok
follow
world.
him.
Yeah, he finds the bad guys. And
I see him.
Do you
yeah,
want to
yeah.
talk to him?
We
can
should talk to him
He
about
talks
it.
to me all the time. So I get a lot of him, and then my new win is I get the larger men, Indian men, where it's a song where they're going like boom, 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 and they're moving their bellies. They're just booping their. It's like larger Indian men showing you how to do like this dance. It's like a boom, 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 and their bellies are.
Why
just
do you
going,
get that?
boom, 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 boom. And then
I have no idea.
eventually
Never
women will
seen
come
that.
around them and look at them like, hey, this guy's bopping his belly great.
Yeah. That's weird. I've never even seen that.
So why did I get that? Because I just watched it one time?
Yeah.
But see,
Just watched
to
it
me,
too long.
that's the flaw in TikTok is that I got to go like, oh, it's the belly thing. Oh, God. It's like anxiety, right? Like, get out of here. I don't want you in my algorithm. I don't.
Eventually it'll weasel its way out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's interesting that we don't like. There isn't. I've never seen it explained how it works.
They don't even know.
Right? Like, it's probably every company has trade secrets that they use or whatever. They may not want.
Well,
to
these aren't
expose,
these
but-
like Chinese taking all our information, giving them the edge type secrets? That's what I hear.
Didn't didn't they make the American anybody that uses TikTok here is owned by some other corporation?
I think so, but
Didn't that happen?
There's still issues with security breaches and what they get and what they don't get. It's weird.
But also, like every social media takes all your information and uses it to
Right.
market. It's like
Yes.
so. It's not whether it's Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, which is Facebook.
Yeah,
but
this is
so
interesting.
it's not like what do I care if
In the chat
China-
room, somebody says TikTok is data collection, not social media. What do you think about that? I mean,
It's a little above.
when you look at it like that,
But I mean, that's
it,
all social media now. What the hell?
everything is data collection.
the thing with
It's
TikTok,
just,
though,
they
is-
want to scare. They were like, China's collecting your data. You're like, not China.
I think
They've
that-
already had it.
I want Facebook or Twitter to collect my data.
I think the reason I don't like, or maybe I'm averse to TikTok at some point, is that like I like reading social media. I don't like watching. I don't like having to watch videos all the time because you normally have to have like the sound on and stuff, right? I don't like that. I like to be able to like do it whenever I want to. If I'm like on an airplane, sitting on a bus, sitting in my car, I like
Yeah.
to just be able to look at it. I don't like having to like have the audio on and make it like, because I feel more locked in then, right? That's how they get you. Because you're fully locked in if you have to do that.
it's more addictive.
And also, videos to me are just dumber reading, right? It's like, am I making myself dumber by just watching nothing but videos?
But what are you reading? You're reading comments that other people are saying?
No, I'll
or
read, like,
reading your
articles.
personal posts. Or that articles is not really. I look at that like then that's consuming
So that's
information.
not social. Okay, all
You
right.
know, I mean, there are social media articles, but then for the most part, I feel like a lot of them are just clickbait. Written by ChatGPT now. Like apparently in the real estate world, like realtors use ChatGPT to make listings, and
They
then
should.
and they'll make
save
them
you some time.
it'll make them in 2 seconds, and then they just tweak some stuff. I just read an article about some realtor that's like, I do not write listings anymore.
Yeah.
ChatGPT does it. It does it in 2 seconds. I change some like minor details that screwed up, and then it's done.
I've been
It'll take
using
you-
it for Tom and Dan merchandise descriptions. I was playing
Yeah.
around with it. I was playing around with like, how can we apply this to Tom and Dan? I could have Eric go, brand new Tom and Dan hoodie, interior fully custom, all artwork done by Danger Brain, made by this, made out of polyester, sizes yada yada from yada. Put it in there. It types it all up, slap it on the website, sell the sweatshirt.
Yeah. Anybody that writes any descriptions or that kind of thing, or like over and over, I imagine it's all going to go to this AI.
Merchman he's in the chat room. He's doing the same thing. I was playing with that.
Everybody is doing it.
Eric, I was playing with that to see if you wanted to use it. Yeah, man, use it up. Anything that saves time and makes us, a bit more efficient, I guess. We do have to take a break, buddy.
All right, let's do it. We'll be right back.
Okay. There's that guy. Save that. All right, that is. Which one is that?
220, segment 2.
That's a Monday, right?
Yep. Monday.
Did you get that song out of your head?
It'll come back.
No, I meant, Matt, I meant like just in people in general, not necessarily me. Like I can't be sitting with my wife at Maisie's pediatrician blasting my TikTok, unless though those are the people that have one headphone in. I see those people all the time too. But I don't want to be that guy because then what am I doing? I'm not even in the moment.
Who gives a shit if you're just in the waiting room?
No, I'm just saying, like, shouldn't you, like, I feel
I don't want to
like,
look at these sick people.
I feel like escaping at all times is going to end up getting us somehow.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like that's right.
If I have an AirPod in one ear and then my family's around, I take it out because I feel like just the fact that my son seeing me always not present, it was damaging because I used.
Man, my dad was never present.
There it is.
But no, she's pretty good. I would love if Maisie grew up to be like Sam. I mean, other than the paranoia, I'd say like that's pretty goddamn. We crushed it. Well done.
Well, it had nothing to do with
touchdown.
Your dad.
I say no. I know that, but I'm just giving her a compliment. I'm saying, if that's the argument, is that dad's being present ruins. It doesn't have to. You can turn out awesome and have a trauma dad.
You could turn out awesome despite.
But think of how hard Sam had to work. Oh my God.
Despite bad things, yeah.
That's a lot of just in there. All right, what are we doing here?
Do you want to keep going on that Monday or?
Let's still doing some. Let's still do some emails.
I like the emails
so
better.
3?
Yeah, let's do 3.
Cool. Melissa says you're the outlier. Could be. There has to be one.
Yeah.
All the trauma kids in DeLand that I know, a lot of them are no longer with us and are really fucked up. So
yeah, it's not like my brothers are doing great.
Yeah, okay, didn't want to bring that up. All right, here we go. Would you like to start, my friend? We're going to go back into emails. Here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Let's do some more emails.
All right.
Paper. Let's get to the paper.
I will pay money to watch Tom put makeup on. Sam, Tom, and Dan. I'm listening to the Anna Lepoli interview, and Tom is implying that he can figure out how to apply makeup because he's watched his wife do it before.
Hold on. We were talking about this with those old grandpas
in
the Publix commercial.
Please set up a show where this happens. Bring in a local drag queen or makeup artist and everyday women to judge how he does. Or make it a competition between him and Dan.
No.
I would pay extra for a special episode just to watch this.
Look, I'm going to already call this. I'm more of the sensitive artist type. I'm going to be instantly better at it, but I'm still going to be crappy at it. It's hard for guys to do makeup. Makeup is difficult. The idea of even putting it on, shading, blending, all of that.
Well,
no.
The whole point is that Tom said he could do it, so she's challenging
we say
him.
a lot of things on the show. We say a lot. It's a show, so you say things.
But he
on
loves
the show.
challenges, though. This is a challenge.
I can watch a YouTube video and basically get through it through a YouTube video.
Okay.
You can get through anything with YouTube videos.
Okay.
I was thinking about this.
He's not wrong. I mean, you can get there. I've done a lot of things using YouTube videos.
Like if you,
I don't know. I can't do makeup with YouTube, so
well,
I'd be interested to see you do it.
Now, my wife
it's not
is really
be
good
100%,
at
but if I watch a YouTube video and there's like, all right, start with the foundation and
I'd love to see you do a smoky
I
eye.
think I have the edge because of Maisie.
Well, that's too hard.
I got the edge. I think I would crush this because I see it every day, like every week. Maisie's at some competition. She has to put her makeup on, and Andrea's trying to get her to a point where she can do it. She's not even close, but she can do some things, right? I see this. I think I could be okay with this.
Because if I'm following the steps of some YouTuber telling me, all right, this is how you do it. If you want,
You're a
some
little
subtle way-
heavy-handed there. I can see you gooping it all up and looking a little clumpy.
Well, it'll tell me. It'll be like, well, don't use too much. Don't clump
Well,
it.
that's what does that mean? I tell you a lot of things and you just do whatever.
Well, I don't listen to you.
Right. Well, that's what I'm
Like,
saying.
if
Is that the
there's-
person's like, don't use too much, and you're like,
If
you
it
know,
was a challenge and someone said you can't do it, I'll show them.
well, how do we determine if you've actually done it or not? Is just doing it, the act of doing it? You'd have to do it well.
Yeah, I'll do it on the camera.
Right.
And then I'll look at a mirror, and then I'll watch a
just
YouTube
don't-
video.
And you're going to try and look like whatever the person in the video looks like.
He's
It's
not
the
going to be able to
ultimate
do it
result.
because he's too heavy-handed. That's what I'm saying. This kind of goes back to the crunch wrap thing. Your fingers don't even work, man.
No, they work.
Ooh, you're going to hold a makeup brush?
I'm telling you, it is
Everything works.
Like the girl. Remember the girl Lydia we had yesterday, and I
Yeah.
complimented her makeup because she kind of did that like Amy Winehouse thing where you take the edge right here and you take, I don't even know what you take, some sort of black pencil, and you go whoop, and you do a swoopy out the side of the eye.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of throwback.
That's a little advanced, though.
It's not. That's
I think that's fairly easy.
yeah, that is
compared
an
to some of the rest of the stuff.
That's what I'm
Okay.
trying to tell you. It's very precise. Like I see Andrea do things where she like draws and then she takes a thing and puts some glitter and then she wipes it gently and then you got to blend that into the other thing. And I just don't know if you and I could do that.
Well, it's all repetitions. So, the more you do it, the better you get at it. I understand that. And there's a certain, like, touch you get with that. But for the first time, if I just watched the video and then got the gist of it, and then it's like, all right,
Okay,
foundation.
let's do it. We'll go get some. Somebody send us some makeup. Because last time we wanted a challenge, they sent us shoes. I don't know.
That's
We've got
true.
these magical angels out there that send us stuff. Send us makeup, and we'll do a makeup challenge.
Well, I'm sure.
I think I'd be good at it, though.
Or the next time Brendan's on, maybe we can.
What's
He
the
can bring
hardest?
some in.
What's the hardest part about it?
Eyes.
We are too woke on this show, you know.
Eyes. It's the eyes.
the eyes. And
It's
what,
the
what about the eyes? Is it the eyeshadow?
I think the eyeshadow.
That goes in your eyelids, right?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, you tell me.
And then you got to do mascara, eyeliner. You got to do blending.
You got to blend it.
Okay, so eyeliner
Pluck your eyebrows.
is the pencil.
We got to start with your eyebrows. Holy.
that. Well, now you're talking about plucking stuff.
Well, you gotta prepare the surface before you put the makeup on. You can't just like me. I have to shave my beard down and get it nice. You know, like you
Okay,
can't.
well,
You gotta
shave.
wash your face.
wash. I
Then
think
you gotta wash and dry it, exfoliate to make sure there's no dead skin on there. Because if you put the foundation on top of the dead skin, you're gonna see it.
Well, that's all easy. You haven't
No,
described
I don't
anything
know.
hard. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't
Like,
even know if you'd know what foundation was. If we laid
No.
everything out.
Well, you'd have to show me. I don't know any of this stuff. But if you said to me like, all right, the foundation is the goes down. And
Okay, so he's doubling down. He thinks he can. do
Okay,
it.
yeah,
So let's
yeah.
try it.
Let's do it.
To
I'd
finish up
say-
the email, given the current climate on these issues, I think it would be such a cool way for Tom and Dan to support LGBTQIA+ community. Maybe they can do some
Wait a
fundraising
minute.
in the
we
process.
already support them. I don't have to put on makeup to say hey.
Yeah.
I just love this idea, and I hope you do something with it.
Okay.
And I also
Biggest
feel like
fan from Washington.
that's a little. I guess I was trying to think of what hateful. If you said like I'm putting on makeup and that means this.
Yeah, that means I support gays. That doesn't mean anything.
That means I support
It
this
means
community.
nothing.
It's like no, it doesn't.
No,
Not
that's how
everybody in the
ignorant you
community
are.
wears makeup.
Yeah, not all gay people just start slapping on the mascara.
Yeah.
You're the bad one. You put
Yeah.
on the makeup.
Yeah. It's,
Trying to villainize us.
anyway.
I like that we take every email, turn it back around on the person who sent it, and attack them.
I do understand that it's difficult and it takes practice. And
See, the
I'm
chat
not
room
gonna-
said I was getting it right with the exfoliation, the drying, make sure the dead skin.
Yeah, there are correct ways to do it, but it's
Then there's lotion sometimes that I see my wife put on before she puts her makeup on. I'm like, what is that? It's like priming her face.
yeah, but again, it's like just putting lotion on your face. The act of doing that is not a difficult thing to do. Like if you
I think
show,
it is.
If you show me some like
How many times do we have to show it to you, though?
art,
You're acting as if you saw the video one time, you could just be like, I got this. And I don't think that's the case.
well, I'd have to look in like the foundation. I'd have to watch the video and then push pause and then put it on watch. And then I'd have to go to the eyeshadow part and like, how do you do it? All right, then
Are we
I put it
allowing him
on-
to wash off the mistake and reapply? And
Sure.
Okay.
That's fine. I feel like it's going to go a lot like the high heels, where you thought it was going to be a lot easier than it actually is.
Well, I ran in the ones that,
you
know.
almost broke your goddamn ankle.
I mean, it wasn't a good run. It wasn't.
Well, the big thick wedges, anybody could run in those.
Yeah. Well,
we'll do it. Hey, we need stuff to do. We'll do it. I'll get some makeup and we'll do it.
Yeah. And, I'll just go into the other room, put it on using the YouTube video.
Okay.
How long did we give you?
You guys could judge
Well,
me.
I want to do it too. I want to put on makeup because I think I can crush you in this.
Yeah, I think you could too.
Oh, okay, well then I don't want to do it.
Because you're gayer than I am.
Yeah, I am. I am
That's
gayer
that.
than you.
We already
Everybody
established
knows that. We already established that.
Take
I think that's
that.
why people listen to the show. But if I put on the makeup, people will know I'm gay.
That's not how it works. So.
Oh, okay. Next email.
Okay, so hey Dan, I'm the listener that Tom met at Toll Road.
I don't know what that means.
The tall blonde stepmom.
Oh yeah, the one he cheated on his wife with.
By the way, you can tell Tom that I didn't even hear his comment since I was walking over at the time to my stepson who introduced me.
Yeah, Tom made some like inappropriate OnlyFans or some sort of Pornhub comment, didn't you? You're like, I've seen those videos.
Yeah.
The BDM turned to this lady and like, that's my stepmom, and they looked to be the same age, and she was tall blonde, and then I made the joke, I've seen those videos. And they didn't hear me. I thought that they heard me, and then everybody stayed quiet. And
the funny thing is that you have seen those videos, so I could argue that you weren't telling a joke.
Well, the joke being that this
you
guy,
shouldn't talk about
this
it.
is reality.
Right.
Anyway, all right.
I'm a longtime listener and had a great time at the event. I finally pulled the trigger and signed up to become a BDM. I was hoping to get added to the BDM Facebook group.
I think I got her added.
Okay.
Yeah, she's in.
Again, tell Tom not to worry about the comment, and I look forward to attending more events in the future.
There you go. We need more hot stepmoms listening to the show. I love an attractive older woman. Love it. I'm a proponent. I think we should become the official Orlando-based hot old lady podcast and radio show.
So, speaking of Pornhub,
what?
You I wonder if it would be an advantage to them to have like a podcast or some other sort of media.
That's it. We need to be the Pornhub podcast.
Do they not have one?
I think they tried it.
Yeah, people like we don't want them.
Yeah.
We just
like,
want.
I just want to touch it. I don't want to listen to you guys talk about it.
yeah. Maybe they're all
the
that
Pornhub podcast with Asa Akira.
Is it done by
Asia Akira?
Oh,
I think
it's ASA.
Is it done by the actual company, or is it just?
Yeah, I think it is.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything's got a podcast now.
Yeah, you're right, and no one
can't
cares.
read
And
that.
no one cares. Even we
No one
have
wants
we
that.
have a podcast and no one cares.
I guess that's the mistake of a lot of things. People think, all right, this is a popular thing. Let's make a podcast about it.
You
And
know
it's
why
like,
people don't want it? Like, you don't want that in your. You know how people will share, like, hey, what podcast you're listening to? You don't want to have it like Joe Rogan, Trash Tuesday, Tom and Dan, Pornhub podcast. You don't want to have that in your list. You'd be embarrassed to have that, right?
Well,
like if you
also,
guys got
no
in
one wants audio of whatever porn star they hired to do the podcast is horrible. Probably.
If you guys got in my car and
Bobby Lee was on an episode.
and it was automatically playing. Well, he's a horny man. If it was automatically playing like the Pornhub podcast and you guys got in my car, you'd be like, what the hell is this guy doing? Right? You'd look down on me a little bit, I feel like.
Dude, every time you open up a browser, it's porno.
Yeah. Well, that's because it's linked.
Yeah.
No, that's because it's linked to my Google account. It's on every computer I have.
Yeah.
I just I know it's there and I don't delete it.
Yeah.
Because I don't care.
No, yeah. So we know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But I'm just saying because it's linked to my Gmail account. Like I'm saying, if you got in the car and it was actively playing,
I would think I would be curious to why you're listening to the Pornhub podcast.
Driving around alone.
Like audio.
Right.
What is it? Is it funny? Like, is it interesting? Do they talk about Pornhub? Do they talk about just the industry in a whole? Like,
I would guess.
current events?
It said pop culture, sex, and feelings.
So it's like every other podcast. It's just
Well, but I think they probably, and I don't know if some guys would want to hear this, but I think they probably take some of your favorite adult stars and then they interview them and you find out a little bit more about them, right? Their personality, what they're into.
Maybe,
yeah. I think that's probably what they do.
You can really go anywhere because there's so many genre of porn that it could
But
be
I
about
also
anything.
would bet that any of the people you get on there, especially some of the younger girls, are going to have they're not going to say anything. They're not going to have anything, no content. They're vapid, just nothing there.
I would listen to it just to find out what people are searching, like what their highest search.
I think you can find that on the website, though.
Yeah, but just them
like
talking.
top searched.
Yeah. But then just talking about like, oh, this week everybody was into this.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it changes week by week,
Like,
right?
wow, you guys really flipped to the Middle Eastern porn this week. Give it up.
Like,
you know?
I guarantee
Mia
that
Khalifa.
Quarantine banging.
the story about those cops, like that probably caused a bunch of cop porn to be searched, right? That week, because that was the hot story. And,
You're right. Yeah, I would say, certain trends.
But then the following week with the cops, oof.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's ups and downs.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
Dan the Hypocrite.
Oh, there it is.
Dan is railing against nerds for our beloved multiverse and it being lazy. But isn't this man obsessed with playing Madden and building his own fantasy team that is impossible to exist? I know he does because he won't shut the F up about it and he uses it to make crap analogies constantly. There's one universe, Dan, and in this universe, Roddy White is an old-ass man, not the beast he is on your fake virtual team. How are you okay with this, Dan? It's lazy. I feel sad for you because your team is so crappy that that's the only way you see them win at all. Ha ha. Half joking, still love you guys, just losing love for Dan. LMAO.
My God. Well, Roddy White's an actual person. All of your garbage never happened. There. So I got that for me. I got that going for me.
Yeah.
Julio Jones, real person. Ryan, Matt Ryan, real person. These are all real people that did real accomplishments. Still got that going for me. Literally just torched your entire email with one phrase.
I think, he is just upset because
you're attacking his thing that he loves.
Yeah, the fantasy of that. I realize that even the fantasy football is so ridiculous.
That's really dumb.
It's just
well, you realize that
Marvel comics for jocks.
And I think you lost interest when I won, and you didn't. And I think that hurt you to the core. It's crushed you.
I'll beat you next year. I lost because of injury.
I mean,
injuries. That's what losers say. But winners say winners count their money.
And I traded you CeeDee Lamb for Montgomery and
you wanted Montgomery.
Yeah.
You wanted him. You said he didn't have any running backs. You said you needed.
But then Rashad Penny I got Montgomery and Rashad Penny, which was to me I was like 2 running backs for a wide receiver is great. Then old Penny got hurt.
They both got hurt, I think, right?
No, Montgomery
did. He just stalled out.
Stinky Bears. All right, sorry.
Next.
Compulsive lying / Black Christmas 2022. Hey gang, on Black Christmas 2022, compulsive lying came up, and I have a good friend that's a compulsive liar, and he would lie about the most random, unnecessary things. Here are a few examples. He would travel from location A to location B and would lie that he stopped at like Steak and Shake between the 2 locations, but didn't.
Yeah, that's what makes it real. I knew one of these guys too.
And the stop would have no effect on anything, so there was no point in adding that he was there and what he was saying. Another example, a group of us would be getting together to go somewhere and he would say he can't go, but tell each of us a different excuse as why he can't go, knowing damn well we're all going to talk about why he isn't there.
Oh, man.
The thing that makes this so difficult is he has some absolutely wild stories that turn out to be 100% true. So some things that seem like lies turn out to be true, but some basic things like going to get lunch somewhere will be a lie. Makes absolutely no sense why he does this. Anyway, BDM for life. BDM Michael from Ohio.
I think it's an anxiety thing, and I think that it might even go along with my chirping, right? Like, I think I've known people like that make up tall tales but they're little things, right? That don't even matter.
Insignificant lies,
right?
That's the compulsion part of it.
Well, that and also they're so awkward with just being who they are and just like having a conversation is so awkward for them. Like what we do all day long would be like their worst nightmare. So even to get into the conversation, they almost need a jumping off point, and a lot of times those will be lies because it's easier to come with something that you think is going to be a little more impressive than it would be just to be who you are. And I've known a couple of these guys throughout my life.
The weird part is like what the email was talking about, you adding something that didn't add anything to the story.
Right.
So, and
that's what makes it like,
and it was a lie.
Sad.
Well, that's what kind of makes it a mental illness to me is like, why'd you add you stopping at Steak and Shake that no one cared about? Wasn't even relevant to the story, but then that was a lie.
Well, I think you figured it out. That's the sickness, right? That's the disconnect in there.
It's like you're telling a story and your brain's like, gotta add some lie.
Yeah.
Which is weird, especially when the whole story's true and then just the weird details are a lie. that are insignificant to the whole damn story and make it so. That is bizarre. It's like, why is that even a thing? Why do people feel they need to do that? Or like,
I think it's
liars?
comforting to them. I think that is like a security blanket. I think that's that intro, that lie, that thing that they throw out there to like be in the conversation is in some weird way their, what do you call that? It's like an introduction almost.
But see, that is different because I could see someone lying to be able to be involved in a conversation. But if it's your friend and then he's just, like your friend, he's telling you a story or what happened to him today, and the part where he stopped at Steak and Shake was the only untrue part, but it had no relevance to the story whatsoever, or even the start. It was in the middle of it, and then it's like, why'd you do that? That's a weird behavior to throw in some insignificant lie.
I also think a lot of these things, again, fueled by whatever in your brain, are sometimes they're like on such a lower cognitive level. They're running in the background, just like your apps are running in the background on your phone. You're not even doing the math on that Steak and Shake lie. It's already queued up. It's already queued up by your brain, by your subconscious, and as you're talking, you're throwing it in there because it's comforting to you somehow. Your brain enjoys that type of word math.
Can you shame the compulsion to do this out of someone? Like if someone,
I think it's part of who they are.
And then
I think you got to talk to a shrink about it.
I knew a girl that I known from 6th grade all the way up until we graduated high school, and I think she's still doing this, dude.
Just just
her whole life. But there's no rhyme or reason.
I think
to
a
it.
lot of
people
us
call
know
them
those
out
people.
on it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that didn't happen, and why'd you say that? Like, why?
Yeah.
You just start like
sometimes,
doubling down.
But that's
like,
the worst one to me. The worst one to me is the one who has the disorder is doing it, and I think it can be fixed through like therapy or working on it or whatever. Yeah. But I think the worst one to me is the one you're talking about, where the guy. I've known people before where all of our friends will be like, that never happened. You shut up. Like they're like, this guy's a lot. And then he just lives like that. He just lives as a guy knowing that he's like, yeah. And then that's when the Burger King caught on fire. And they're like, that never happened, you idiot. And he lives his life just being the guy who lies about everything. And then his friends just yell at him and say like, yeah, that never happened. You're an idiot. I know those guys.
I wonder then if you could say like, hey, I have this disorder where I lie about things. And I don't know why.
People think it's a lie. That's the problem. People will be like, you're lying.
Could you say that? Like, hey, there are going to be lies in everything I say, but I can't help myself because I'm got this disorder.
So make it like Tourette's where you're like, and that's when the Burger King burned down. That's a lie. That's a lie.
I think that's what Casey Anthony said on that documentary.
Is it?
I don't know. I
Some
didn't
lying
watch
disorder? Yeah.
Do you think?
Well, she did say she was taught to lie her whole life because she's claiming that her father SA'd her, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And who knows if that's a lie?
Yeah.
Got SA'd when people say that. I'm like, whoa. It sounds so gross.
As soon as you tell people you have this lying disorder, then everything you
Everything's
ever
in
say,
question, yeah.
you're just like, well,
that's why you can never say it.
I'm just listening to you, and it's just like you telling me a dream because it's all. I mean, it could be fake.
Then you tell the person, I choose to lie. That was a lie. Right?
Yeah. I guess maybe there's plenty of people that live their life and everybody around them just doesn't trust anything they say, right? And they're just known for that. What a horrible way to live, though.
I know those people.
Just thinking that like this person's just lying.
Do you have a person that you interact with that you thinks you're lying?
Me?
Like anybody. Like I'm talking, it's not just you. I'm talking about everybody. Do you have a person that you interact with in your life that you're like, man, I don't think they believe a word they say. Like, or like, what? That's a weird interaction.
No, but it's hard for me to pay attention to. Like,
that's not your lane. Yeah.
He doesn't observe a lot.
Yeah, no, it's not his thing to pick up on stuff like that.
And I tell the truth even when it hurts me, makes me look bad.
Right.
So it's like I prefer the truth.
Well, everybody should, right? I mean,
no, obviously they don't.
No.
My first go-to would be the truth, because it's funnier to me, or like I don't know, I get enjoyment out of saying the truth instead of
because it's like it's a rarity sometimes, right? And that's what makes it stick out.
Yeah, it's just funnier to me,
and it can be blunt, right? It's like. Pff.
Also, I'm like terrified of like going to a theme park or like a water park or whatever with beer in your cooler, right? If someone asks me, is there beer or alcohol in your cooler?
That's
And then me saying, like, lying to their face and saying, no, there's not, and then them searching it and finding it.
That happened to my husband.
And then I feel
I've
like
never had that happen. I don't even know what
shamed
that
and
would feel like.
embarrassed because I'm like, man, because now we know, like, the person knows I just lied straight to their face. I'm a grown adult.
No,
like,
then you just lie on top of me. Like, oh, I forgot that was in
yeah,
there.
yeah, that's the next lie.
Yeah.
But
they know that's not true,
yeah,
and that drives you
Yeah,
crazy.
but-
we
Yeah,
all
I
know that she or he knows that I just straight up lied to their face. Now if it's to like it's a cop or something, like if you had anything to drink,
Oh, that's
I
different.
don't
Or your
like-
children. The chat room is asking. The chat room saying you lie to Tommy and Max all the time.
Yeah, well, every parent does for kids.
A
It's
little
like,
bit,
you know,
yeah. There's a little bit of that
All
in
the
there.
fantasy stuff, but
The magic, the tooth fairy, the Santa.
I feel like that, like the kids, even like I'm trying to remember. I can't even remember how I felt about it, but I feel like most kids like get why their parents lied about it, and because Crystal did bring up like,
would it make you mad if well, I mean, you already know how I'm gonna go, right?
What?
If you asked me how I reacted when I found out that a certain somebody was not real during Christmas time, the answer would be I was pretty upset. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
par for the
emotional.
course, right? It's par for the course.
But were you upset that your parents lied to you?
A little bit, yeah. I felt a
okay.
little like I was like,
I feel like I would have been too, but I never believed in Santa or Tooth Fairy. or
right?
any
You
of
did.
that,
You
so.
weren't given that,
Yeah.
Or in this case, is it a gift? I don't know, but like I don't think it was. I remember the time I found it. I could probably. We sat here long enough. I could, if we had EMDR, I could probably dredge up the memory and start crying in front of you. But I remember finding the presents in my mom and dad's closet, and I remember, like, I kind of knew, right? It was always one of those things that kind of
You're
felt
like, wow, they're hiding them from me in the closet.
It was one of those things where it's like, I think I knew, but I didn't want to know, right? Because I enjoyed
Sure,
it.
yeah.
You don't want to. You're like, I think that this is not real, but I don't want to. I don't want to like stare into its face. And there I was looking at all the gifts, and they had already been addressed, right? From the big guy, if you know what I mean. So I'm like, oh my God. And it, like, I was mad. I was kind of mad.
I just assumed that people would be like, well, I know why they did this. Like, they didn't do this to intentionally deceive or hurt me in any
That's
way.
a really smart and mature way of handling it, I think. You know, I don't think that was my initial reaction was like, wow, they did this because they wanted me to have the magic of Christmas. You know, I forgive them. Like, that was not my
Well, I guess
initial
maybe
thought.
when you're a kid, you know,
Yeah.
you're not emotionally intelligent enough to understand that. But
I
when
think
you
it
grow
was
out of
third
it,
grade.
you're not going to hold the resentment. I mean, no one holds
No,
that
not now.
resentment.
I'm not. No,
Yeah.
not for long at all. I'm just saying I remember I was mad. I think I was third
in
grade.
the moment.
What is that age? Third grade.
Like 8?
Ooh, it's coming for me.
9. Tommy's in third grade. He's 9.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's when I.
Yeah, but he's
he's turning 9.
Yeah, he's
That's
turning
when I
9.
found out.
Yeah.
And it hurt my heart.
Kids will find out everything through the internet now. So I'm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Scot-free.
And other
Yeah,
kids, man.
Yeah, it's just other kids are the worst. Yeah, they say everything. Some of the stuff that Aunt May comes home and tells me, I'm like, holy crap! Don't say that. Don't say that. What else you got over there?
All right. A question to knock around. You know the whole F, Marry, Kill game, right? That can be fun. Here's one on starches. F, Marry, Kill. Pasta, rice, or bread?
You F bread because it's awesome. You marry rice because I think you can implement it into your diet. Okay, and then you got to kill pasta because it's just the
I'm
devil.
going completely separate.
It's all the same, though, right? As far as like
it is.
carbs.
But I
you
feel
know.
like rice. I feel like I can implement that.
Kill
into
bread.
Like, I could do like a
Get bread out of here.
little bit of rice and then put like some veggies on top of it. And if I ate a lot of that, I'd be all right. The bread can't do that.
It's a toss-up between pasta
But
and rice.
pasta is also, man, you can't be eating pasta. It's bad.
It is,
It's
but...
bad.
And you can make different types of rice. So I'll probably marry rice and F pasta.
Okay.
I hate rice.
I love it.
You hate rice?
I had it last night. I had wild
I'm
rice last night.
forced to eat it because
You gotta season it
it's
up, buddy.
healthier. Like, and you know, I try not to eat that much bread, but there's so many things you could do with bread. I like a good
like
sandwich
bread, yeah.
and other stuff, so I don't want to kill it from my life.
Well, bread was didn't I F bread? Because I was just like, oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I F bread because I love
You
it.
killed pasta.
I killed pasta. And then I kept rice because I figure it's the easiest one to implement into a healthy diet.
Yeah.
And that's just basically based on Asian stereotypes.
I guess I would get rid of pasta too.
Man, I love wild rice, but I realize that Uncle Ben's wild rice is not wild rice. I realize that Uncle Ben's wild rice is just heavily salted white rice with just a bunch of seasonings and salt in it to make it taste yummy. But it has a nostalgia effect on me because my mom used to make Uncle Ben's long grain wild rice. It's long grain and wild rice.
I saw somewhere that brown rice is not actually better for you than white rice.
Really?
Yeah, that white
Have
rice.
I been torturing myself?
Are they changing it again? Brown rice sucks, dude.
Well,
it doesn't even hold right.
I saw somewhere on the internet that brown rice is actually worse for you than white rice. Not necessarily.
Was this a racist meme?
Yeah, I was like, I can't imagine that's true.
Because something.
Yeah, I think they always flip it. You know, they always flip it where they say like, "Oh no, we had it wrong."
Something where like.
What about jasmine rice?
It's not as
love
natural.
jasmine rice.
Well, jasmine's white rice.
Yeah,
right?
basically.
Yeah. I think it comes down to what is in brown rice or how they make it or whatever that your body can't digest it as well or whatever. Something like that. I see little videos and clips, and then I'm like, that's the truth now.
Let's see.
Some stranger
Yeah, well,
said
I mean,
it.
if you're getting it on TikTok, it's like, if you
Someone on
not
TikTok
white
said
rice,
it. That's the truth. Now.
Let's see here. One such myth is that brown rice is better than white rice. It is important to know that there are 3 important parts of rice, which include bran, endosperm, and germ. White rice has only the endosperm part, while brown rice has all 3. So that's the argument, is that this is literally like just by design, it's less rice.
Okay. But the person said that it's the brown rice is harder to digest, or
I think because you are digesting the endosperm, the germ, and the whatever the thing was.
Okay, all right.
Whereas with white rice, you're only having to digest one.
It's all fine.
Yeah, it's all fine.
Whatever. Yeah,
Sam, you're fine. Eat the brown rice. It's all
All
good.
right.
That's you're good.
Um,
What else you got?
yeah, let's do one more.
All right. Listening to an ACT where you were all talking about who carries cash. I'm 34 and always need cash. What? Always need. I call it walking. Oh, I call it walking around. You guys gotta break up your sentences here.
Well, they're not good on the punctuation.
I call it walking around money.
My dad used to call
emergency
it.
$100
Yeah.
bill, another 5 20s and a 50, and 1 5 and 10. I always tip in cash, and small charges under $10 I like to pay in cash. I collect change in separate mason jars, pennies in one, dimes, and so on, and at the end of the year, since I'm too cheap to pay 10% to Coinstar, I hand roll them and take them into a bank.
I know a guy that
Those
hand
were
rolls.
those were one sentence, guys.
Yeah, I know guys that hand roll. There's a lot of my friends that say, "Nah, I ain't doing Coinstar. I'll just roll them up," because they give you the little paper rollers for free if you go and ask for them at your bank.
I think they charge now.
Well, if you were a member, if you had like a savings and a checking, they'd be like, "Can I get a few of those?" And they'd give you some.
Now, I'd argue that your time is worth more than
Well, you do it
whatever
while you're
the
watching
small-
TV.
yeah,
Right.
like meditation.
Yeah, you do it while you're sitting there at the table,
Yeah.
talking to the kids.
Then I got a bunch of paper rollers and coins.
Make your
around
boys
there.
do it. Make your boys
know.
do it. Like
Um,
say, "Hey boys, help me out here."
Or you just use your credit card and then you don't have to worry about change at all, because now you're using cash, getting back change, and then putting it in a receptacle. Then every once in a while, then getting like rollers or rolling it, take it to the bank. All that extra time could have been, negated by just using your card.
Well, but like yesterday,
Why
I
not?
went to True Leave and you couldn't use your card.
Well,
'Cause
buying
systems go
weed.
down and
Well,
stuff.
buying weed and stuff is different.
Well, no,
but,
like their electronic system went down. I mean, that happens
Yeah.
a lot. Whereas cash, it doesn't matter if the electronic system's down. If we got cash and you got cash, we can make it happen. So there's some,
It's the tipping is one thing. I do like having cash to tip because that's what
Yeah.
But
Or, if you go hiking and they have a park fee.
yeah.
True. That is very, very true.
But everything else, God, even my son's golf teacher was like asking me, he's like, "Hey, you want to square up because I have to pay him for 2 months or whatever."
yeah.
And then I'm like, "Oh yeah, we'll go into the office." He's like, "Nah, use my phone,"
Yeah.
and just puts it in, and it's like, "Oh yeah, everybody's now can accept credit card through their own personal phone through some app." So it's
Yeah.
like
Apple Pay is like all over the place now.
You know-
So I mean, I've got like friends over here. I owe you $10, and they want to bump my phone.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, now, like, even when we go...
your wife is saying to bring cash home tonight for the tooth fairy, Dan.
Already got it.
Okay.
Because I had to use a company card to buy marijuana. I was embarrassed and had to talk to Tom about it, and then I had to get cash out, so I have a little in my pocket. What's the going rate on a tooth? This is a big boy tooth. And then Andrea's dad, he was on FaceTime the other night, and Maisie's like, I got a wiggly tooth, Papa. And then he's like, yeah, $50 is the going rate. And I almost kicked the
I like
phone.
that. That's a good
Yeah,
bully.
it was a good bully. He
Yeah,
got me
I
so
like that.
good. Hats off to you, Jim. You got me good. Because Maisie did remember and said this morning, I think I get 50. And I'm like, well, that ain't happening.
Oh.
You're not getting a $50 bill.
I'm going to tell her, like,
Please
my
don't.
kids got 50. I'm like, I mean, maybe in Baldwin Park.
Please
tooth
don't.
fairy's
No,
poor.
please don't. Yeah.
Even though it doesn't make
He
sense.
doesn't
Your
come
tooth
in.
wasn't that good.
He doesn't go. Yeah.
Maybe they send the poor fairies to the rich neighborhoods. Like, that's how they make
As
it
punishment.
equal.
They bust them in. They bust in the poor fairy.
Castleberry, you get $50. I give.
What do you?
like,
Come on, be
10
serious.
bucks.
10.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
$10 a tooth.
10 a tooth. Wow, me. That is.
Which is apparently a lot.
I think that's more than most get. Yeah, Castleberry. That you live in a good area. Your fairies are good.
But you can get away with. I mean, when I was a kid,
I think you can do a $5, right?
Yeah.
I think I'd do 10.
Well,
$20. $20. I can do $20.
That's too much because now Maisie's gonna tell
think
Tommy
she's
and Max 20.
How
and
much
then
are your kids getting?
$10 a tooth.
Still a lot, I feel like.
I'm gonna flip it on you. What if I just do $10.50? Well, just incremental.
Good that my sons will never ask. They
don't even notice.
Yeah.
Do they?
I see their.
Do they keep their money in like a wallet and like keep it all together and then like want to take it places? Maisie has a wallet. She's got all her money in there, all her coins, and then whenever Andrea's going to Target, she's like, "Let me get my wallet." She runs and get it.
They have a wallet. Some of my old wallets that they put their like Roblox gift card,
Put a condom in there.
some random cash and whatever. But Crystal, she's developed this tradition where the Tooth Fairy leaves money in a origami shape.
Because you guys are a
that's
traditional
right.
Asian family. Yeah.
So
it's like,
every single bill that the boys have gotten for the Tooth Fairy
doesn't come from the Tooth Fairy. It comes from the ghost of Hiroshima.
has been some sort of origami. Like Max got an origami ring one time,
That's
where like
pretty
he put on,
fancy.
or like the last one was a goose.
You
and
guys
then there was
try real hard, man.
Pants. Crystal tries.
Oh, I saw the one she did where it was like a shirt and
pantsuit.
pants.
yeah.
I saw it. She posted.
Pantsuit.
It was like the Tooth Fairy had folded the money into like a little shirt and a little pair of pants. It was really quite impressive. I'm not doing that.
I think it's all because she watched some TikTok video of some like middle-aged lady saying, I just realized that every time we'd go to the beach, my dad would bring like some sort of exotic shells and then sprinkle around so that I'd
Lying to your kids.
have a
yeah.
special,
Oh my God.
I'd have a special moment. And she's like, I just realized that
But the
how
special
much,
moments
how
are
much
It's
he
planted.
tried.
You know what sucks though is that
fine.
if you always get special moments, then you're miserable in the moments that are bad.
Oh, yeah. That's
Well,
what I'm doing to my
it's
son.
the whole let's take them on adventures every week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They can't stand adventures. It's torture.
I am so confused.
No, but when they're older,
Oh,
they
man.
It'll
they'll
be a
look
memory,
back,
yeah.
and then they'll be like, "My mom tried this hard." When they realize,
Or they won't remember anything.
yeah.
That's what I'm
well, that's
worried
what
about.
I tell her to bully her.
Don't
and
tell
I'm
her
like,
that. Come
all
on.
this
Let her fold
origami.
it.
I'm sure
No.
your mom did a bunch of stuff too.
Man, let her fold her
Right?
money. It's fine.
Some of it stuck, like the egg sandwich every morning.
Yeah,
which
some
I
of 'em
made for.
stick.
Now
The
I do
money,
egg
that's a
sandwich
little
every
too
morning.
fancy, but the egg sandwich, that'll
yeah,
stay.
yeah. And then maybe my sons will be like, my old man made me an egg sandwich every morning. Although, now it was like not that hard, so it kind of devalues it a little bit.
Right.
Because now I'm like, well, but I guess it's better than nothing. Although they didn't never know nothing.
Do they have a
So,
tooth bag?
You know,
Do they have a tooth bag? I had a tooth bag.
Ew.
A little bag. Well, no, it wasn't gross. It was just like a little cloth bag that some old granny had made that had a stitched cinch in the top, and you would open it and drop your tooth in there and cinch it, and you'd put it on your
Gross to
pillow.
me.
Well, there was nothing on it. It was just a white tooth. I mean, there's nothing. There's no blood. There's
But
no
they
nothing.
kept the tooth, is what I'm saying.
Not my parents.
No,
Oh,
well,
okay.
tooth-
Oh, I thought you meant
No.
you collect.
No,
the
no, no,
tooth.
no, no,
Crystal
no.
does.
So
Crystal does.
Yeah, I think Andrea does too.
She's got a little bag of gross ass
I think
teeth.
Andrea used them as Andrea used them as body piercings. Like I think she uses them on her nipple
Oh
rings.
my god.
But you put the tooth in the little bag and it says like her name on it, and she puts it under her pillow, and then it disappears.
we had some sort of tooth container, but
Yes.
what happened is
What had happened was.
one day we forgot. And then we woke up panicked and we're like, oh, God, Crystal fell asleep drunk.
Hey.
Come
I
on,
was drunk,
man.
too.
Come on,
I was,
okay.
I was
Don't
more drunk.
snitch on her.
All right.
But this is a while ago.
That makes it better.
Like 8 months. And then
Yeah.
when Tommy's like, it's still here. And then we had to quickly lie and say, like, maybe it's because it was
COVID.
it was in a container and the tooth fairy doesn't like it in a container. That's why it's got to be free flow.
You got a real jerk tooth fairy.
Free flow tooth.
in your
Man, this lie is
pillowcase.
spiraling out of control.
So since then, we have not been able to use containers because with that lie.
Yes. You got to keep up with them, though.
Yeah. And we
Oh
thought
my
about
God,
when we
tapestry of lies.
Yeah, it is.
I've already thought about it when we forget the next time. Then it's gonna be something about was the fan
you
on?
left the door open.
Oh,
What's
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
fan
You left
on?
your
I
they
thought of
can't
all of
fly.
it.
They can't fly under the fan.
I'm like, was Alexa playing music? That's
Yeah, scared 'em away.
Oh, yeah.
I've done this before.
Tooth
yeah.
fairies, really cautious.
Yeah, you have,
especially in
I like
Castleberry.
the fan ones. I want to high five you for that. And I know you hate high fives, but the fan one is good because fairies can't fly when your fan's on.
Yeah.
And then you guilt them to feel bad. You left your fan on. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
That's why it didn't happen. You make them feel bad.
We're gonna
about
do it over.
Yeah, if you make them feel bad about your extra lime white claw you had, that's a good idea.
And you think that by the time the last tooth comes out, they'll be old enough not to believe in the tooth fairy, but I can't remember. Then it's just them wanting money, right?
I kind of feel like
The fairy part
I think
doesn't-
I never believed in the tooth fairy.
It's the dumbest one out of all the myths.
Easter Bunny's pretty dumb.
That one's stupid too.
Yeah, I think Easter Bunny is dumber than Tooth Fairy.
Bunny with eggs.
In fact,
weird.
I don't even mention the Easter Bunny anymore because I don't want them to think about it too much. Because Santa Claus at least is a human. Now you're talking a
Easter
gigantic
Bunny's
bunny,
crazy,
where
yeah.
it's just like,
No,
I don't know about
May's
this
all
old
in.
man.
Yeah,
Like,
May's
this
all
is-
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the line, Maisie thinks the bunny isn't human-sized, which I was like, that was a relief. She thinks it's like a bunny.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
I guess she doesn't hear this.
It's just
This is a dangerous thing to talk about.
I don't want them to. Well, did you listen to the show?
I don't know. She could be in a car. Andrea would be driving around sometime and have it on. Next thing you know, she hears it. Daddy's saying bad stuff. But that one is the toughest one, and I think she thinks it's just a standard floppy-eared farm rabbit, and I'm okay with that.
Oh,
that
man, have you seen
makes more
Merchman
sense.
Eric's rabbit? His bunny? I think
Yeah.
it's huge.
I made the mistake of talking about how I think rabbit people are crazy.
How dare
And Eric
you.
was like, I have a rabbit. And I was like,
So
I was
fluffy.
like, God damn it.
Yeah. And the worst part is
Yeah,
like,
I love
you're
Eric.
like,
I
oh,
heard- yeah.
God.
It's like, now I have to say it's okay because I
No,
love
no.
Eric so much.
No, but you can't bring yourself to saying it's
Do you
okay.
want
So
me-
you're just like, oh God, I wish you didn't have that. but you know my feelings.
Now
so,
I think of you differently.
Yeah. So now we
Yeah.
must never talk
Yeah,
about
we
it.
never mention it. And then
Yeah.
if you say, hey, Eric's got a rabbit, I have to go, yes, he does.
yeah. I immediately want to bully him.
Yeah, I know you
Every
do.
time he comes here, I'm like, how's your rabbit? This is
That
still,
sounds weird.
How's your rabbit?
Is it still doing the thing?
Is it still
out,
thumping?
Yeah.
Don't say that. That was the creepiest thing you've ever said on the show.
Like, do you bring it out and
Yes,
what do you
he
do with
said
it?
He holds it.
Don't
and
bring
he-
it out.
Hold it.
Yeah, he
What do you
holds it,
hold
he pets it like
They
a puppy.
cuddle it.
Yeah.
Giant rodent.
See, now you're doing it.
Do
Do you like our merch department? Because we're like, we shouldn't be talking about
No, that's fine. He
this.
knows we're
It'd
joking
be like,
around.
well, let's do a whole segment of how we hate Disney in front of Sam. Lou, what are you trying to do, man?
I
Tom
do
does that all the time.
I
Yeah,
love. I want to do a segment where people just call up, tell me what they like, and then I just ask.
I mean,
Oh,
that
I'm
is
good at
literally
that.
the show, though.
I'm good at that.
Every voicemail, email,
that's
you
what I
crap
want.
on everyone's fun.
That's
People
what I want to
will
do.
one day. People will understand that the things I say have nothing to do with the things I mean, and it'll ruin the show, right?
Yeah,
It'll
yeah.
ruin the whole thing.
I think people realize it.
Yeah, they probably do.
All right. Bye bye.
All right. Nice. Where does that go?
220, segment 3.
That same one?
Oh, 3 and 4, I guess.
Yeah, it's 3 and 4, so that show is done. Yeah. 4. All right. Are we doing more, or are we stopping
that's
for
it.
commercials?
Yeah, because you also
Yeah.
have a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, that's it. We'll
I do?
He does.
Oh, my God. All right, guys. Have a good one.